Hello, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank
Good.
you.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. We are 1 week later. How have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's been the weather's been unreal for one, so that's helped.
Yeah,
The-
yeah. So I've heard. I mean, the weather's not been that. I mean, it's been all right here, but not amazing. But it's never
Yeah.
it's never as nice over here as it is in the UK. I think we sort of end up pulling the short straw living on a little island. But
Have you been
it's
doing
not been too bad.
everyone's doing these 5K runs. Have you been doing those?
Yeah, Fred, I nominated you to do it. You never did
I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
it. You replied, Fred. Don't you lie to me. You replied.
No, I actually
Um,
mine's coming tomorrow. I promise. I promise.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did mine, and everybody's been posting the screenshots of their time, like how long they took to do it, and I didn't because mine was so bad. I was so slow, so I was like, I'm not gonna let people know how long it took me. That doesn't matter. I still did
Five.
it.
Show people you've done 5 donated. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good. I did what I
Cool.
had to do.
Well, we're
Yeah.
going to talk this week about Keir Starmer's victory in the Labour leadership election. Uh,
Yeah.
so a story that's had a bit of coverage, but obviously it's been one that's been slightly kind of covered over.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's sort of the premise of what we're going to be doing. Hopefully, is covering the stories that are being overshadowed by current situations. Yeah.
Important one.
So we'll get straight into it really. So as you said, the story is the Labour leadership election. So I'll give you a little bit of background. The Labour leadership election was triggered by Jeremy Corbyn's announcement to resign from as Labour Party leader following his major defeat in December 2019, where the Labour Party lost 60 seats, I believe, leaving them with the lowest number of seats in the House of Commons since 1935. So big old defeat there for Corbyn. And so essentially, 3 candidates received the necessary amount of support from party affiliates and constituency parties to get their final ballot, to get to the final ballot. So these were Sir Kier Starmer, who was the Shadow Secretary of State for exiting the EU. Yeah. I'm having to fact check here with Fred.
Yeah, no, he was. He was, or shadow Brexit secretary, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that was him, Sir Kier Starmer, and then Rebecca Long Bailey, who was the shadow business secretary, and a Lisa Nandy, who was the MP for Wigan. In order to stand, candidates needed to be nominated by a minimum of 10% of the combined membership of the Parliamentary Labour Party and the European Parliament Labour Party, and then 5% of constituency Labour parties. So quite a bit of sort of, you need multiple sort of areas of support in order to.
You're right. It's more spread out. I think I would say so. The Conservative Party, for a contrast, would be, the members do vote on the 3 eventual candidates, or the 2 eventual, but the actual initial stage of getting onto the ballot paper is only up to MPs. So the Labour Party do give their membership far more power.
That's good. Yeah. See, just a side note, Fred studies politics. I haven't learned politics since A-levels. So this is why Fred is like my sort of fact check there, because all my information is sort of research, whereas Fred's more knowledgeable. But yeah, so as Fred said, but the election was conducted under a 1-member, 1-vote system. Votes were cast using postal ballots and online voting forms. So I think an either or. And any person who became a member of the Labour Party before the 20th of January 2020 was eligible to vote. So a little timeline of events. So party members began to announce their candidacy as early as the 18th of December, which was just 5 days after Corbyn announced his intentions to resign. So people weren't waiting around.
The thing is, people prepare for this moment. So they get their foot in the door as soon as the barrel of shotgun goes for the race to start.
Yeah, exactly. Some keen beans, yeah. And then from then on, the first televised debate was held on the 12th of February on a special edition episode of Newsnight, and then on the 15th of February, nominations closed. so that was to, for candidates to stand. And then from the 24th of February onwards, party members received their postal votes and online voting forms, and the ballot closed at midday on the 2nd of April. So members were given about 5 weeks to make their vote. So they were given a bit of time to sort of listen to the candidates and make their decision. And then the results of the ballot were announced at 10:45 on Saturday, the 4th of April. And the winner, as we may know, is Sir Kier Starmer. Pardon?
Drum roll.
Yeah, exactly. Drum roll. The winner was Sir Kier Starmer, who won the election to become the Labour Party leader with 275,780 votes. So this was 56.2% of the vote. So he won by a landslide, clearly. And then second place, not that it means anything, but second portion of the vote went to Rebecca Long-Bailey, who received 27.6% of the vote, and then Lisa Nandy sadly only received 16.2%. However, all was not lost. They both candidates did get appointed into the shadow cabinet by Sir Kier Starmer. Long-Bailey was appointed the shadow education secretary, and Nandy was appointed shadow foreign secretary in Starmer's cabinet. So at least they didn't lose entirely.
They got the wooden spoon, maybe.
Yeah, so it's not the end of the world, but I mean, it's not quite the leadership, is it? But you win some, you lose some.
Well, exactly. And there are some big ramifications for any leadership election, but I think for this one in particular, there are some big ramifications. So you mentioned that he won by 56.2%.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to take that into consideration. That is a massive victory.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's decisive. And it gives Starmer a mandate. It gives him a mandate really to rule in whatever way he sees fit, shape the party in whatever way he wants. So I think that's big. There have been people that have been saying, obviously, a big view is that this marks the end of Corbyn and the Corbyn project and a move towards the centre ground. And that, they see Keir Starmer as this more establishment, a Tony Blair ilk figure. But I think the reality is far less certain. And that's kind of reflected in the leadership contest. He was himself quite ambiguous about where he stands. People are asking you, are you a Blair or are you more closer to Corbyn? He's kind of trying to shift in the middle, saying he's moral socialism, whatever that means. But actually, if you see in a lot of his pledges, they're quite close to Jeremy Corbyn-like policies. So he sets out he wants to kind of nationalise the rail, the mail, energy and water. So you've got crossovers there. And I think you've also got to take into account there's big pressure from the Corbynite supporters in the party.
Yeah, well, of course, because I suppose you can't go from one extreme to the other overnight. It's got to be, or you can, but it's difficult to win the support of people if you go from this one extreme of Jeremy Corbyn and then go to the other side. And I suppose he's got to can take that into consideration and sort of try and win over these former or these Corbynites who were in support of Jeremy Corbyn.
Exactly. So. I think a lot in the party are keen not to just do a complete U-turn and do. I think people see that there was a lot of good work done in the years, despite Corbyn, having a lot of, disappointing results. But so you've got a big grassroots force within the party called Momentum, and they exert quite a lot of influence within the party. So they're quite keen for Starmer to keep on that kind of track of radical left politics. And the quote is quite revealing. So they released a statement saying Starmer's mandate is to build on Jeremy's transformative vision. So I think there are going to be people calling within, keep on the road, continue what they see as the good work. So it's not simple as just simply moving to the right or moving,
Yeah. I also think as well, you shouldn't really compare them to each other, asking questions like, are you a Blair, are you a Corbyn? It's sort of, they are trying to make their own...
It's quite binary, isn't it?
Yeah, they're trying to sort of make their own footprint on the party, and they're not trying to sort of be specifically one individual. They're trying to sort of learn from other people and other politicians and sort of learn from the mistakes and the successes of other people. They're not going to sort of be molded into one sort of individual. So
I think that's the thing. And we're going to talk about leadership later on, but I think great leaders, they learn from the successes and failures, but they are a unique leader in themselves. They have their own traits, their own skills and their own strengths, but they're not, they're very much their own people. They're not just a Tony Blair Mark II. It's going to be more uncertain than just, a straightforward path to the centre ground.
Yeah.
I think another thing that we need to realise is that, we are in the midst of a health pandemic, and the coronavirus is going to change the political landscape for years to come.
Yeah.
And I think one way it will do that is, many of the policies that seemed far left and radical, like, borrowing lots of money, spending lots of money, and having quite a big state, having quite a big government. Conservative parties are doing that as we speak. They are implementing changes. And I think, Starmer really now has the legitimacy to carry out these radical policies if he wants to.
Yeah.
Jeremy Corbyn maybe never had. So
I suppose
it's a different landscape.
Yeah, it's a different, I suppose that's the thing with politics though. It's sort of it's not just about people's views, and sort of what's necessary changes depending on the climate that we're in. And at the moment, even though we've got a Conservative government in power, they are, implementing these very sort of socialist sort of policies, because that's what we need at the moment. We need, in order for our country and people's sort of the welfare of the country to continue, then they have to sort of take a different stance on things. So I suppose it's all relative, and it all changes depending on situations, I suppose.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think it would be naive just to kind of ignore, we are talking about the Labour leadership election, but right now we'll be defining, and, as you're saying, it's going to look quite different. So that, I think, is another reason why we come back to it. I don't think it's as simple as this means a return to the Blairite era. It's a different time, and that will, I think, reflect in the coming months. So, if you're Keir Starmer, I think you've got 5 things to do.
Okay.
5 top priorities when you get in. First day in office, he's got 5 top priorities. What are the things he has to do? So, we've been talking about it. Number 1, coronavirus response is the first thing he'll be immediately faced with. He's already been questioned on it. And I think it's been striking to see how little opposition we've seen in the kind of recent months. Because this leadership election's been going on, we've had little from Corbyn and other figures within the Labour Party. So I think his first thing is to start holding the government to account.
Yeah.
But also trying to find that balance. So engaging with the party, he's been very keen to stress this in kind of cross-party discussions, and bring about that much needed unity we need kind of right now. We don't need this kind of Punch and Judy politics to and from. It needs to be unified. It needs to be collaborative. So that's, I think, the first thing.
For sure.
Number 2, anti-Semitism. So that's been a major problem within the Labour Party.
Massive issue, yeah.
It's been an issue in terms of how many people have seen Jeremy Corbyn handling it, and the criticism of his ability to lead. But also, I think it's an issue of moral authority. I think the Labour Party, they can put forward these progressive left-wing economic policies, but if you can't sort out big issues such as anti-Semitism in the party, I think that does. Voters start to think, they're a bit confused. Is this the moral force that they are putting out or presenting? So it's important, and I think he's already made a number of significant steps in this. So the Jewish leaders have come out this week and said that he's achieved already more in 4 days than his predecessor Jeremy Corbyn had done in 4 years. Big statement. And winning back the faith of the Jewish community is going to be massive. So that is definitely, a positive step that he's made. Brexit's another one. And I think this is where he might be under particular scrutiny. As you were mentioning early on, he was a shadow Brexit secretary, and he was the kind of the guy behind, I don't know if you remember their election policy of renegotiating a deal with the EU,
Mm-hmm.
but then putting that to the people. And there's this confusion about, okay, where's Labour going to stand? Are they going to be for their deal, i.e. do they want to leave the European Union with the deal, or
Yeah.
against their deal and want to remain? And there was a lot of confusion. So I think another key priority has got to be establishing this kind of credible, consistent Brexit policy as we go into debates about the kind of future trade agreement. But it's worth pointing out, I mean, the Conservatives have got an 80-seat majority right now.
Yeah.
So the amount of influence over Brexit is going to be far more limited, but they will have, definite opportunities to scrutinise there.
Yeah, for sure.
Fourth priority, unifying the party. I think we've already kind of touched on this. One of Corbyn's big downfalls were having, left and right being at each other. And I think it undermines everything. I mean, you can't really do anything without a unified party, a leader.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Unity.
It's the same with the government. It's the same with the government. It's not even just parties themselves, it's the government. If there's not some sort of unity between the two parties, or there's some sort of agreement here and there, then nothing gets done. And it's the same within a party.
Everything's undermined. You have people calling out, as you're saying, and the whole project's undermined. So unity is a big one. And I think, as we've already seen in his shadow cabinet appointments, he's trying to bring together both sides. So you've got the kind of Tony Blair, more right wing of the party, centre ground, and Corbynites, left wing of the party. He's trying to bring them together. So we've seen that with sort of appointments of Angela Rayner on one side, and then Jess Phillips would be more to the centre ground. And you've said Lisa Nandy and Rebecca Long-Bailey are back. He's appointed them their cabinet, which is important, just as a kind of way to appease and get them on side. And Ed Miliband. Do you remember Ed Miliband? Anyone?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just always remember that's just wrong. That's just wrong.
He was the king of memes, I always thought. He was.
He was dead nice. He was sweet, bless him. Yeah. But he didn't do very well, bless his soul.
Well, he's back. He's back as Shadow Secretary.
Wow, big statement from him there, coming back with a vengeance.
So I don't know if you remember the famous bacon sandwich photo. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it sort of rings a little bell. But it was him and his brother were sort of fighting for the leadership, weren't they? Or they
were at one point, and now his brother's.
Yeah.
I think his brother's in America at the moment. Making a lot
of left that behind. See ya.
Yeah. But anyway, he's back, so that's a blast from the past. But so priority number 5, a big one again, and this is an overarching theme, and he's got to achieve this in order to get back into power, and this is making Labour more appealing to the voter. He needs to win back those former Labour voters who have now sided with the Conservatives, and regain trust with them. I think a big thing that people are hearing during the election is Corbyn's putting forward all these, economic policies that would appeal to all sorts of people and appeal to the kind of, core base and the people that Labour want to appeal to. But do they trust the man, and do they trust the party to actually carry those policies out? And I think ever since the kind of financial crash, Labour and their reputation for kind of economic competence has been questioned. So they've got to regain trust with the voter, and they've got to now sell that socialist agenda that they so desperately want. To get back into number 10.
Wow.
So yeah, he's got a lot to do. I don't think it's an easy job, but good luck to him.
I don't think any politician's got an easy job at the moment, to be perfectly honest. But good luck to him, I suppose. Let's hope he can sort of turn it around. We'll see what happens, I guess. But so we're on the topic of leadership, aren't we, Fred? So I've got a bit of a question for you, sort of a hypothetical sort of situation.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So hypothetically,
right,
if you had to create your own cabinet, but exclusively out of In-Betweeners characters, so the TV series In-Betweeners,
okay,
who would you choose? So I'll give you the 4 secretaries of state. I'm not going to make you choose an entire cabinet
I was
because
going to say, I'd have, what, is it 20 to go off or something?
we'd be here all day.
Yeah, big four, okay.
So the big 4. So the Prime Minister, who is obviously the overall leader, all-rounder, the Chancellor, who looks after the money, the Home Secretary, who is in charge of sort of defence at home, and then the Foreign Secretary, who is in charge of defence abroad and sort of diplomacy. So have you got any ideas who you would want? Firstly, I'll give you as your Prime Minister. Who do you think you would put in charge of it all?
In between us. Okay, I've got one mind. One name springing to mind. I'm gonna go for. I think. Well, as you've already said, the Prime Minister needs to be the leader. He needs to be the dominating, overpowering, the big man, the strong man. I think. So I'm gonna go for Mr. Gilbert at 6th.
Yeah, I think that's quite. I think that would probably be mine as well. I think it's quite. I mean, I don't mean obvious in sort of a bad sense, but I mean it's quite clear. You know, he's stern and he knows how to. He's very authoritative. And he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
So you'd agree with that, Gilbert?
Yeah.
But you'd be scared. You have to be scared of the main man, don't you?
Yeah. You need somebody who's going to give you tough love as well. Like you need sort of. You don't want somebody to sugarcoat it. You need it sort of said how it is.
No, exactly. So I think Gilbert is, for me, the easy choice there.
Yeah.
Right, who's up next?
Chancellor.
Chancellor, so he needs to be in charge of money.
Money, yeah, finances.
Start with his money. I'm going to go for a bit of a rogue one here.
Okay.
I think people would expect me to go for Will, because he seems the most sensible. And
he seems like the most sensible, yeah.
He's not going to be splashing the cash. I'm going to go for Will's mum.
Okay. And what's your reasoning?
Now, hear me out here. I think she's firstly going to be quite good with money. You get that sense. She's got her.
Yeah, you do get the vibe. Yeah.
She's got it all. She's got that all sorted out. You can sort of tell the lifestyle that should be quite good with money. So that I'm going to go with that, and then I'm also going to go with relationship with the Prime Minister is key when you're a Chancellor. Both. Prime Minister has to get on with the Chancellor, and the Chancellor has to get on with the Prime Minister. And I think, I don't know if have you seen the second In Between? Is the second one?
Yeah, I've seen all of it.
They have a really good. I mean, it's probably too good of a relationship, to be fair.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I think Will's mum would keep Gilbert in line, so I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my reason for going Will's mum for Chancellor. And also, have we ever had a female Chancellor? I don't think we have we?
I don't think so. Not in recent years anyway. So
unprecedented, which is
yeah. So great, good. I think that's a good shout, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. So what about Home Secretary? So obviously that's defence at home. Who would you put in that position?
Oh, got it straight away there. Straight away.
Go on.
Donovan straight away.
Donovan, why Donovan?
100% Donovan. Because he, apart from the Gilbert, he is I think he's got the most authority. People are scared of him. He's got that iron fist. Donovan without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, fair play, fair enough. Yeah, you do need a bit of a tough man, I think, in charge. So I guess that's. Yeah.
I trust him to put the right amount of police on the streets. He'd be the man, I reckon. He'd do a good job.
Okay, and finally, Foreign Secretary. Who would you put in charge of that? So,
well, remind me, Foreign Secretary. What's he/she need to be good at? What's the role there?
So it's defence abroad and sort of diplomacy. So they've got to be diplomatic.
Okay, I'm going to go for Neil.
Neil? Why Neil?
Because I know that's random, but I would say, okay, first he's got the language skills. I don't know if you've seen the episode where he's going around like no problemo. You know that one where he's sort of he's
yeah, I have, but I don't think that's quite the language skills.
I think he'd look good on the world stage with that kind of language. Okay. And also I feel like everyone loves Neil. Do you know what I mean? Everyone he's like a bit like, well, I wouldn't say he's a bit. No, he's not like Boris because not everyone loves Boris now. But I think abroad people would love him. He's just sort of he's so sort of like good natured.
Yeah,
Maybe not
yeah,
the
he
strongest,
is.
but I think he'd get along with everyone really well.
Yeah, you can't really dislike him, to be honest. He's harmless, isn't he? But
I'd send him out and just do that. You know that dark.
yeah.
I'd just send him on.
Oh yeah.
Send him out to the sort of UN. Just I think he'd be unbelievable as a.
Yeah, well, that's pretty decent cabinet, to be fair. So Gilbert, Will's mum, Donovan, and Neil. So, I mean, it's never going to happen. But
cabinet of, diversity. It's got everything going on there. The very best in class, I think.
Yeah. So
right.
yeah.
So what would you change any of those? I mean, who would you go for your PM? Gilbert?
Yeah, I mean, he'd be the obvious choice for me. I think it is a pretty sort of standout one to me. I think as soon as I asked you, he sprung to mind for me. Chancellor wise, you argued your case well for Will's mum. Actually, I would have, as you said, went for the obvious choice of Will, probably because he's just quite level-headed and sensible and should be quite good with money. He's good with numbers, so he should be good with money. But yeah, and then Donovan, I mean, you've argued your case well, so I wouldn't necessarily dispute any of those answers. Home Secretary. Yeah, I think, do you know what, Fred? I think I will agree with yours. I would have gone for Will, but you argued your case well for Will's mum, so I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay. Well, people are welcome to put their own suggestion.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually quite a good. When people say everyone's got a in a mate, everyone's got, like, in a group, everyone's got a Will or a Simon or a Jay or a Neil. I think everyone's got a PM, Chancellor, Home Sec, and Foreign Sec in their group. I would say you're over. You're over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking who I would put down as mine, but I think that's definitely the case. I think you've definitely got the sort of defensive one, the one who's like a bit of a loudmouth and can sort of, defend the team and defend themselves. And then obviously there's always a group leader. There always is the sort of one who's in charge and gets their own way and and there's always somebody in a friendship group who's good at maths, so good with numbers.
So I think
it's always an accountant
doing that. Create your cabinet, and I think pretty much sum your mates up. So I'm looking forward to this next one. This is a Friday night vibe. This one, a Friday bank holiday vibe, and there is going to be a bit of alcohol involved. So it's taking a turn for work. The pod's taking the turn.
I've got my Strongbow.
So this is called, on the theme of leadership and Keir Starmer's election, a beer for Keir.
Oh,
definitely have a jingle for that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to get thinking of one, friend.
Yeah, someone needs to create a jingle. Anyway, I think this is our, every podcast has to have their ear to social media. They have to be pretty good with social media trends and all that. This is our. Yeah. We're gonna get this trending, right?
Hashtag beer for Keir.
Right. Do you want to explain what we have to do?
So essentially, Fred's instructions to me were to get a quote from my sort of an inspirational quote from a leader. So any sort of leader, it doesn't have to be a political leader. And he's asked me to bring some alcohol along. So that's what I've been told. And I'm going to have to say my quote and then I believe down my drink.
Say your quote, down your beer. Beer for Keir.
And is that it?
Cider, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's a cider, but also mine is a big can, a proper can. I'm just going to open mine so then you know it's
legit. Go on.
I did consider not drinking and just pretending, but I didn't. I wouldn't do that to you, Fred.
Yeah, be
I've got a diss to write, Fred, but it's fine.
Holiday.
It's fine. I've clocked off. It's fine. It's fine.
Right. So quote beer, get it down. see how you get on.
Are you actually going to test whether or not I've drank this whole thing? Because I don't know if I'm capable. Fred, have you ever seen me neck a pint?
See me neck a pint? I'm useless.
True. So Fred's got a nickname, which is the Artful Dodger, because he dodges necking.
I dodge pints, and I dodge necking. Whenever we have to neck a pint as a group, I'm straight in the toilet. I'm away from the situation. So get on with it. Quote down your beer for Sir Kier.
Okay, so do you want me to start?
Go for it.
Okay, so my quote is from the one and the only Sir Alex Ferguson. Fred and I are big United fans, so that's who I've chosen and why. And this quote is, "Losing is a powerful management tool so long as it does not become a habit."
Love it. Get it down. Woo! Kier would be proud, Abby. Unbelievable leadership shown. How are you getting on?
I've done quite a significant amount, you know.
Unreal. It's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah. Crush it. Crush it. Yeah.
I don't know myself. I've never done that in my life.
Very strong. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit woozy, I won't lie. I also feel like I really need to burp. You know when you get the gassy bit here?
Going up. It's going up.
Yeah.
Actually, hats off to you. Side is not an easy one to do. I think you've really gone out, and for Strongbow side, it's quite fizzy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well,
so
Fred,
we've been talking around, and I want to get some people on. Get the hype going. I want to get people on. I want to hear what they've got to say. So we're going to get, using the power of Zoom, we're going to invite some people on. So first up, Becky is coming onto the chat. I'm going to invite her on. She's coming on. One sec. She should be coming on. Hello? Is she on?
She is.
Holbrook,
hello?
You're on. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
There we go.
You're on.
Hello.
Okay, Miss Holbrook.
Rebecca Holbrook, you are live on Channel 4. Please do not swear.
Nervous. Okay, what do I do straight away? No. Okay,
Get
cool.
it over with.
Salvador Dali, in my opinion, leader of the Surrealist movement, and his quote is, "Intelligence without ambition is a bird without wings."
Oh, love it. Get it down, Becky. Lovely stuff.
All in one, but I'll give it.
Go on, lad. Oh, she's doing well.
Good stuff.
Big gulps. Big gulps. Oh.
Not bad. Go for part two. Yeah. No, I feel
I still need to burp after mine.
I always do the same. Go for part two. Very strong, Holbrook. Final furlong.
Oh, well done,
Becky. Lovely stuff. Have a good Easter.
Done.
Look after yourself.
Have a good Easter. Happy Easter, doll.
Do I leave? How do I leave?
You should be on. Why are you still on? Okay, next up we've got Finley from Manchester. On to the call, Finley. Colder.
That was good. Becky did really well there.
She did unbelievably. And I respect, anyone that wants to take some time out and go for part two and, finish the rest of the beer off, absolutely fine. Who's up? Finn, you up?
I'm here. I'm ready.
Finlaw.
Go for it.
Lovely to see you, mate. It's looking very rural.
Yeah, very nice. Same position, good hedge.
Yeah. Lovely.
So I'm of the belief that all leaders are judged on quotes that they're coined with, whether it be good or bad.
Okay.
Plenty of quotes on his, we'll fight them on the beaches and we'll fight them on the landing grounds. Plenty of Theresa May quotes on why she wasn't very good during Brexit. Fergie was coined with Fergie time. But I'm going to turn to our current leader, who's just got out of ICU.
Yeah, good news there.
He's battling his war incredibly well and better than all of us. And I'm taking the quote from the end of our 10 Downing Street letter that everyone's received.
Lovely stuff, Finlow. Very on message.
I think it's a quote that will be coined with this time and will be coined with Boris's leadership forever. And it is, stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
Lovely. Very on
Yeah,
message.
love that, Fred.
Weekend.
I love
Here's
that.
my beer for Kier. Enjoy.
Get it down, lad. Lovely stuff. That is very
What?
impressive, I have to say. That's
Well
that's
done.
what we've seen all day.
That was unreal.
Unreal. Thanks, Finn. Look after yourself, mate.
See you soon. Stay home.
Right, that should.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, boy.
What are we saying? Still on there. How you doing, Finn?
Get out.
Get me out of here.
See, Fred doesn't study ICT. So.
Oh, he's off. He's off. It's always a delay. It's like a delay. Right. Next up, we have Hugo from Oxford.
Wow.
Hugo, come into the chat, lad. What are you saying? All right. Apologies for the delay. ... Aha.
Oi, oi.
Ransom,
Hang on.
how you doing,
Sound
mate?
on, boy. Sound on.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
How you doing,
Technical
mate?
difficulties. Sorry, mate. Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you for joining us.
No problem at all.
Lovely stuff. Okay, what's your quote, mate?
My quote, it's Benjamin Franklin, and it is, yeah, pretty topical. In wine there is wisdom.
Yeah.
In beer there is freedom, and in water there is bacteria.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Get it down, you mate.
Come on, boy. Ooh, solid.
Yeah,
Wow.
good point right there. from
Boys are doing
Ransom.
well today.
Very
Well
strong
done,
fight,
Hugo.
mate.
Love that.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
Can you
Lots of
repeat
love.
it again? Beer, so, wine there is wisdom.
In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, and in water there is bacteria. And that was Benji Franks.
Bang on message.
Nice.
Mate. Lovely stuff. Have a good Easter,
Thank
mate.
you very much.
You two
Have
boys,
a good
have a good
Easter.
See you, Abs.
In a bit.
All right.
Later. Bye.
Right, so have a good Easter, mate. See you in a bit.
Have a good Easter, guys. Excuse the trim. That was a girlfriend. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry.
It's all right, mate. We'll forgive you.
Right. Have a good Easter, guys.
See you in a bit. What is going on? You should have gone minutes ago. What is going on? Okay, here we go. Right, there you go. Try that. Hello?
Hello. He's gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
So next up we have.
Next up, Sutton. Henry Sutton. I went to school with him.
Oh, he left. He's gone.
No, he should be coming on. I've just accepted him. He should be coming on. Here he is.
Oi, oi.
Here he is.
Has he got his audio on?
Yeah, I texted him today. I was like, "You okay to do this, mate?" He was like, "Yeah, I think I've only used Zoom once, but I should be fine." Oh God!
Oh no!
We're gonna have to kick you, mate, if you carry on
You're
like
just gonna have
this.
to neck it. You're just gonna have to chop it. You just have to chop it. Oh wait, here he is. He's connected. He's connected. He's connected.
Sutton!
Oh, there we go. There we go. Way.
Lovely. You made it at last. We thought, where is he? He's joining us. Better late than never, mate.
Oh God. All right. How we
Lovely
doing?
stuff.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you.
Good. Right. Do I just fire off then?
Fire off the
Go
quote.
for it.
Get that beard down, you mate.
I went for Benjamin Franklin. He said, "If you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading or do things worth the writing." So
Get it down. Lovely.
Interesting. I quite like that.
Popular today.
Yeah, we've had a Franklin already, but not the same quotes. It's fine. All
No.
good. Oh my God, the boys have got such
Good
a
pint,
solid
Rick.
effort on this pint downing.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Good stuff,
Love
Sutton. Have a
that.
good Easter, mate.
Well done. Thank you.
You've
See
shown
you
yourself
soon.
up there. And finally, we have, last but not least, my flatmate, Mr. Adam Daly. What have you got to say for yourself? Not much at the moment.
Not much, yeah. However, here he is. Here he is.
Dalo.
Dalo, have you got your audio? There we are. There we are.
You on?
Connecting.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit dirty. Just come off the
That's
old.
all right.
All right. Well, are we hitting him now? Just straight
Yeah.
off the bat.
Straight in.
Say your man or woman and
Woman.
Man,
She's
woman.
not a leader, but she is a leader, I think. Inspiration.
Man, woman, whatever. Say your quote and down your beer, mate.
All right. Woo! Okay.
Ready?
So, yeah. I've gone for Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady of...
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
A lot of
Right,
American-
good start. Yeah, I know. Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady. Cracking.
Lovely.
cracking
Yeah, rate
Great.
that.
Good job.
All right. Yeah, that's different, mate. It's different.
Good.
So, I'll start now. Right. Eleanor Roosevelt. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really do stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do.
Yeah.
Well, Eleanor.
Need
Love that. Go on,
inspiration.
for
Lovely
Eleanor.
stuff, Dano. We need
Yes,
that. inspiration.
Daly.
That was unbelievable. And that is.
Wow.
Yeah, down. Is that full?
Love that.
What are you drinking
Well
there,
done.
Daly? What pint have you just downed?
Nice little doom bar.
Oh,
Ooh.
dude.
It's very flat. Very good. for
Wise
drinking,
choice.
you
I was
know?
about to say, very wise choice. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
and
Easter.
classic.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank
You
you
guys
very
enjoy.
much. See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Hang on.
That was good. The boys did really well. Well, Becky did well as well, but I mean, I had a poor effort of downing my pint there, but yeah, the boys did well.
Yeah, they did really well, actually. That was.
I can still see Dalo on my screen.
He's just lurking.
Have you got rid of him?
I think he's. Hang on. He should have. I think he has gone. What is going on? He should have gone. Yeah.
Well, if not, he's just sat there on my screen and it's fine. No issue.
I think we've done quite well there, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, who would you put as in first place? So oh, there he's gone now.
Do you know what I really like? I think for the originality, I didn't expect what came out of Finn's mouth. I like Finn's a lot.
Yeah, I liked
And
Finn's.
it's
I
very
think
on
Finn's
message this Easter weekend, as I said.
I think Finn's won for me. Finn's my winner. However, I think we should end today with maybe you telling us what your quote is.
I was staying so quiet. I was like, please, I hope she. To be fair, no, I'm happy to do it because I rate my quote. Okay, I'm gonna get my beer ready.
Go on.
Well, this is pressure now. If I show up here. Okay, so I've gone for Maya Angelou, who was an American poet, singer, and civil rights activist. So yeah, very big during the 1960s and 70s. So I really rate this quote actually. So it is, I've learnt that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Oh,
Cheers, everyone.
cheers.
Stay home.
Stay at home. Stay safe.
Save lives. Chin chin.
Go on, Freddie. Go for it.
So hard with a bottle. Oh my lord. Oh, really is.
Oh.
It's impossible. Right, I'm doing a Holbrook and I'm going part 2.
Okay, go on. Part 2.
Ah, wowza.
Wowee. Well done, Freddie.
Friday night. That is
Friday night.
right. As I said,
That was good.
beer for Kier. Let's get that going round. That was good
Yeah.
fun. Enjoyed that.
Love that. Well done, Fred.
Good stuff. I've enjoyed today.
Yeah,
What do you want to do
I
next?
have as well. We'll just have to play it by ear, Fred. See what the news is saying by this time next week.
Oh God.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Apologies. This is not a good look. Ooh, I've shown myself up to be silly.
Professional as ever.
No, we'll have a look. I quite like the look of the American election, but we'll see what people have to say.
Yeah, election.
Election, because there are some big. That's the thing I've been thinking. There's some big things going on at the moment.
Yeah.
And like the Labour leadership election, some things that are going to have huge ramifications, even months, years after this. So it's worth covering, and also it's a nice, to be talking about something else. I think people have heard coronavirus, and they hear it every day. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it. I'll
Me
see you
too.
next week. Thank you to everyone who
See
came
you
on.
next week. Cheers.
Have a lovely Easter.
Beer for
And
Kier.
stay safe.
Stay
Lovely.
safe, stay home.
Oh my God. It's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I need to go before anything worse happens. Right. See you later.